Good morning, good morning, good morning. This beautiful Sunday morning. Chilly, cold, wet. It's still beautiful outside because that's the way our Father God made it. And today, it's been. I'm coming up on, let's see, 18, 19 years. Wow, wow. Since my last marriage, and I she doesn't believe that I have not been in a relationship since she left me, and and took the children that I considered mine, because my Father God knows that I love them kids, and we still communicate off and on Facebook, but you know, like the song, I see a picture on the wall, but it ain't the same. I don't hear you calling my name. I have a really, really hard time believing that there isn't not one single woman out there in Facebook land that doesn't see my messages. I mean, I know there's got to be some that do see my messages that I do put on Facebook, but the only thing that I can't believe is when I write some messages, that I don't receive responses from anybody. And especially who I'm talking about when I say anybody, women. Because my messages have been lately more on the political field in that area, you know, talking about political issues, about the things that's going on with our country, and how Lucifer has been elected as our president. Yes, yes, I can only say it that way. You know, it may be a hard pill to swallow for some of you out there, but please trust me, it's Lucifer. It is the devil who we got in the White House. But as I was saying, not to get off track, that I will put messages on Facebook, and then I will get online and get on Facebook Live, and I would ask a simple question to you know the ladies out and say, please give me a response. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of you don't believe that I've been single all this time, or even has not tried to. Oh yes, I have tried to. Yes. But today in this society today, men really, honestly and truly must be careful on how they approach any woman. Have you been watching the news of sexual harassment suits that's going on in our society today? So, you know, a man has to be careful, and he has to really really be mindful of that person that he may want to pull a coattail and say, hey, look here, I'd like to maybe someday have a sit down talk with you, and you get to know me and I get to know you, and so on and so forth. Because see, the sensitivities of how women perceive a man's approach today in this society is a very, very delicate subject that he must and please understand. I do understand. This is why today in today's age, yes, sisters, you made your bed. So if you don't think enough men is hitting on you or whatever, or you can't find the right one, it's because see, you guys have made it so difficult for a man to even approach you. So a lot of times you ladies that are inapproachable and you have gotten your message through to a number of individuals that know you, live around you, or even heard about you, won't approach you because they don't want to find themselves in court. It is true. It is really true. You know, and yes, me, King David D, must be free. Free of being looked upon as someone that is some type of freak of nature, a pervert, if that's what maybe a lot of people may sometimes look at it as being. So I'm more content at being free of those particular titles being placed on me. So I stay free. And I know a lot of people may hear me say that, talk about my relationship with our Father God. And when I say our Father God, because see, our Father God made you like He made me. And it actually depends on how we look at what's taking place. See, I know for sure that my relationship with my father is uh, being a little biased, maybe, but I say mine is a little bit above average. Okay, and that goes for you ministers out there too. I know my relationship with the Father. is that is far past even some of you, because the way my father speaks to me is on a consistent basis. So, and this is why I'm on Facebook Live right now, because I was instructed to get on here and to deliver my message to everyone today about the things that I must do and I must think and I must say. The things that only in which that my Father God will have me to display, to speak in a competent and fluent way, to be as fluent and speak from the heart 24/7, and so this gives me the freedom to get around when I make statements and whatever, because see, for me, I'm way past all of that stuff, and me staying free from in any kind of indignity is the only key that I can find that is right for me. And so, on a day-to-day basis, I ask my Father God, would He help me to do, to think, and to say these things in which that my Father God would have me to display? Because I'm serious about my relationship with my Father today. I have I have been a Jonah, if you will, for quite a long time. And those of you that are familiar with the book of Jonah understands what I'm saying about how Jonah ran from the Father, from wanting to deliver the message that God had given him. And so he did not want to share that message, because he knew that if those people that God sent him to didn't respond, that our Father God told Jonah that they would experience his wrath. So Jonah didn't, by him not thinking much of them, because they was like, just off the chart of unacceptable. Jonah said, well, go ahead, Father, destroy him, because I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell them if they continue in the direction in which that they have chose to live like that, you would bring your wrath upon them. So I won't tell them, so you can just go ahead and destroy them, Father. So, but see, that ain't what God told Jonah to do. God had told Jonah to go and tell these people to get it together. And so our Father God has mercy. He has mercy. But see, we have to abide by our Father God's commandments. And when he placed on some of us, on our hearts, to do, to think, and to say some things in which that he will only have them to display, and they decide they're going to go in the other way. Go the other way. I don't want to do this. I just refuse to do this. No, you don't. You do what your Father God has placed on your heart to do. And see, this is the test that our Father God will bring upon me, and He will bring upon you to do what He has instructed each and every one of us what to do. Now, your question may be, well, hey, brother King David D, how can I find that in me? You have to silence yourself. You have to give yourself to our Father wholeheartedly and be prepared for His instructions. Listen closely, and you will feel when our Father God has taken control. Back when I was about 19 years old, I was living in Santa Monica, California. Any of you familiar with the Broadway play years ago, back in the 70s, called Godspell? When what it is about the Spirit. When the Spirit comes over you, and God's spell, and you are walking in perfect rhythm and harmony with the Father, and sort of like God's spell. You feel the Spirit inside of you. And at that age, I was under a deep, deep spiritual existence of God's spell, where my Father God had me moving accordingly to His will, the things that He had chosen me to do. And see, so I found myself being in Santa Monica, California, and I had enrolled at Santa Monica Community College. And so my Father God assignment that He had for me to do while I was there was to get in touch with the people and to find out exactly what was going on campus there. You could still feel the tension in the air of how cautious and afraid, if you will, you may find the fear that was just like thick from the Watts riots, you know, and and the manner of discipline in which that a lot of the young people had decided to take because of their fear of something that may happen if they went too far. So while I was there, they were having different types of student unions. There was the uh, Spanish American student unions, Asian Americans student unions, uh, all these various different student unions, and I got involved with the student union there. And so, I asked them, I said, hey, uh, you, okay, we make all these plans at our student union, but still nothing is being done. You know, how come you don't have a newsletter or something here on campus? You know, how come this union isn't called a black student union? You know, why is this and why is that? You know, these are the questions that I was asking at that time. You know, and so I had to get involved because this is what my father wanted me to do. He let me know that he wanted me to begin something new on that campus and to start beginning to find out how come the Black Student Union did not have a budget to be able to work from, you know, and how come they wasn't doing any fundraising? Well, see, first of all, their fundraisings that they had were with the Caucasian Americans because they were put in that category to where anything that represented black was not about to go down on campus. So I wanted to know how come they didn't have the budget to have their own newsletter about the activities that the black students would have, you know, because it was Americans, fine and dandy. Why not a black American? Why not an Afro American? Why not a Afrocentric type of organization that they should have had on campus? So me and a few others that I spoke to on campus, hey man, we got to go to the meeting, okay? We got to go and we got to ask how come we don't have a budget like the rest of the students here on campus. So we went there. I went there and I asked the question: how come we doesn't have? Why is it that we don't have a black student newsletter? And it was because the newsletter that they had on campus was the newsletter that we are supposed to use also, you know, just the general newsletter that they had on campus there, you know. But see, there were certain things that we was not allowed to put in the newspaper due to the fact of it may be something that they felt they wasn't going to print. But the other the other students, they had the freedom to say whatever they wanted to. So by it being me and then the budget that I got, it was like skimpy, really skimpy, you know. And so the newsletter that I had put together for the campus was, I'd have to say it looked like a child's coloring book. I did all the drawings, you know, and everything, but as far as having a budget for colors and stuff to do anything in color, it didn't quite handle, you know, the money that I had to put together the first black student newsletter. So I done it. I put it together. We had a few kids that had poetry, you know, wrote poetry. We had a few kids that, uh, they also were illustrators, and so, but everything was done in black and white, you know, and so we didn't have any sponsors, so we couldn't put any things of any types of sponsors in the newspaper to say that we had this sponsor and that sponsor that was putting up money for us to put together our newsletter and everything, but because we didn't have any sponsors, so we had to go from scratch and put whatever we could come up with, you know, and which wasn't very much at all. But I accepted that and went ahead with the newsletter. And I wasn't happy with it myself, but it was about all that we had available to us. So, me and a few other brothers that I had met in Santa Monica, we went ahead on and we put that newsletter together. We put it out there, and by it being the very first black newsletter on campus at Santa Monica City College, we were proud. We felt very good about our accomplishments. See, because that was just the beginning of a new era. And but now why I'm telling this story is because, like I was saying, I was I was being directed by my father God. He had this and he was putting this into me and he wanted me to do this, you know. And so I did it, and the beginning of a new era had aroused. And when I called from years and years and years after me being away from California and everything, and I spoke with somebody at Santa Monica because I can't remember what it was why I called Santa Monica City College. It was something, well, whatever it was, I called, but I did speak in reference about the newsletter and I told them who I was, and they still remembered me. So that right there made me feel good, that all them years that I had been there, that, they still recognized me as being someone that was involved in the very first Black Student Union. But that was quite a few years ago, that I went. See, because like this was like in the early '70s, and I don't believe that I had called back to the school until around about maybe something like in the late '80s or something. Was something that I think it was my transcript. Yeah, that's what it was. And so today, my Father God, He directs me and He calls upon me to do what He chooses for me to do. And we can, those who have our senses that are in tune with what's going on around us, when that you're being surrounded by individuals that don't don't see you in the same light as what may be inside your head, and understanding what God has brought us to do. So I speak about a lot of things on Facebook and Facebook Live, but you know when I ask questions about, if somebody would hit me up, participate, give me some type of a sign that, how we say, that you feel me. When we say, I feel you, brother. You know what I'm saying? who might feel me. Okay, and so I have wondered. I wanted to know, how do my peers, how do my peers see my commentaries that I put on Facebook Live? I want to know. I know that there are people in my community that sees some of my commentations, my commentaries that I have on Facebook Live speaking about different topics, politically and uh, culturally, that I speak about spiritually, and I try to stay in that area of keeping things real. That's what I want to do when I speak to you. I want to keep things real. And sometimes, you know, my father, he wants me to reach out and and ask questions that I may not have gotten yet, that was satisfactory to me, about certain issues in my community, certain issues in my relationship with my peers. You know, uh, when I was in Atlanta, I remember there was this Christmas party that was put together for Kalamazoo in Atlanta. See, because there are so many people from Kalamazoo that live in Atlanta that they put together types of gatherings and invite all the homies from Kalamazoo. Just that many, yeah. I know it's a lot of people you remember when you was young that you just think, oh, they laying low, or they're dead. No, that did. They they're in Atlanta. Go to Atlanta. I'm telling you, you will see a lot of people from the zoo. And so I was talking with this sister that was there at the Christmas party, and I had begin to start, feeling what was taking place with me in my life, because see, this had been following me for quite a few years, but see, I didn't really want to believe it. So and so I go up to the sister, and she was from Kalamazoo, and she told me that me and her worked together at uh, um, well, the name of the factory was Beach Products at first, and then they changed the name of the company to another name, Colors something or another, But then after that, American Greetings took them over, and at that time, that was the beginning of me doing some. I had put together, and I was doing these statuettes, and little figures, little people and stuff that I had put together of different types of eras of our livelihood among our black culture. Like the the saggy pants and from the bell bottoms and the gangster brim. And I was doing different things like this, and I was sculpturing these particular images of our culture here in this country. The things that we had taken on as the years came, and how we would evolve from one type of image into another. And so, and I would bring my sculptures and I would take them to work with me. And the young lady, she's seen some of my sculptures, and I seen her at the party, and she says, "So are you still doing your artwork?" I say, "How you know me?" And I'm thinking, here in Atlanta, how do you? I mean, I know there's people here, but nobody knew the people that was from Kalamazoo that was here. These people have been missing for quite a while. So they knew nothing about my statuettes except for this lady. She said that she used to see him on my desk when I was working at American Greetings. And that was true because, see, when I would go to work, I would set my statuettes on my desk at work. And and the reason behind that, because, see, I was kind of, you know, bringing about to have people to ask me questions, and I could tell them, well, I make these and I'm selling them. If you're interested, you know this and that, and I do this other kind of artwork, give them the whole 9 yards about me and my skills that I had. So I told her, no, no, I'm not. I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I haven't done that for quite a while, you know. And so I started telling her about where my spirituality had come from the last time she had saw me, because I had been in recovery for some years then, but still, and me being involved in church, me giving my life to my Father God and everything, and asking my Father God to watch over me and to lead me and to keep me from falling astray. And so when you are in focus, and so you're looking for these these signs in which that that you actually that we ask our Father God to give us, you know, and to lead us, to help us. And so, but see, we also need to be careful. We need to be careful. Because see, we have some spiritual entities in this existence that are not of God. And if we believe that we are only receiving our aware, or our findings are only of God, well, I have to let you know that that's not right. You know, you also have to be cautious of our Father God's adversary. You see, because the adversary, he can come in and he could have you thinking that this is a sign from God. When what the adversary is doing, see, he's taking you in another direction. He didn't knock you off course. But while you are walking under the influence of the adversary and you believing that this is something that God was instructing you to do, make sure that you know for sure that God is in me like God should be in you. So, when I ask questions to my Father today, I don't accept a lot of the stuff that goes on today, you know. See, because I know that my Father God, He can get something across for if me, if I can't, He can. So this might be one of them times that I may not have got my message across. So, Trina, love you, girl. And I hope you're still with me. Say something to me, Trina. That's what I'm talking about. I see people on here, but see, then I know that there's not always just the same people that I may see because they may be done clicked off and went somewhere else, you know. And but I understand that there are people that be on here and they will see me talking, and so I will go about and I will talk about the topic that I'm trying to get across to and what I'm leading up to. So I'd like to know what's going on with my with 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 my Father God's children, the female children, the women of God, you know, the women that say that they are children of God. Do you see me? Do you see me? Simple question. It really is. Very simple. So that is the way I'm going to bring it to you. Do you see me? So, you know, because see, I would like to know if they are. Any of you out there, my brother from another mother, George, how you doing, brother? Love you, man. So that is the question. To be or not to be. Do you see me? Will that hurt? Or some of you out there, and so you know, and I'm laying this out there to most of you sisters, you know. See, then I'll know what I'm saying, that my message is getting out there. So help me out, sisters. Answer this question for me. Do you see me? You understand my messages that I be speaking about? Do you believe? Could it be possible that this guy David is in fact a servant of our Father? Could it be that this man